Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Town of Cedar Lake Planning Commission public hearing, May 15, 2024. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mr. Becker?
Here.
Mr. Parker?
Here.
Mr. Carnahan?
Here.
Mr. Hunley?
Here.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yep, here,
Mr.
sorry.
Mr. Wilkney?
Here.
Mr. Capura?
Present.
Mr. Oliphant?
Here.
Mr. Austin?
Present.
Mr. Bungie?
Present.
Mr. Kubiak?
Here.
Ms. Hayduk is present.
All right, how'd you get to that?
He's already there. You don't want me to help you with this.
Yes, he does.
I want somebody to help me. What'd you do?
He needs help.
He does.
Jerry, not me.
I need help.
He and I need help. We take a Sharpie and just mark it on the X is what we got across the screen.
It won't stay. You wanna look at that lakeside? Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, sounds good. Okay. The minutes from March 6, 2024 Plan Commission work session and Plan Commission work session of April 3rd, 2024 have been distributed. If there are no corrections, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I couldn't find them.
You couldn't find them?
No. The minutes, I searched today, I should've came and asked you.
And you were in today, too.
Yeah, I apologize.
Anybody else not find them?
I'm good.
I'm good. I'll make a motion. Approve. All right, I have a motion by Mr. Becker,
I'll second it.
second by Mr. Wilkeny. Roll call, please.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Carnahan?
No.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkeny?
Yes.
Mr. Capura?
Yes. That was a no, Bob?
Yeah.
Motion carried 6-1. Old business, number 1, Schilling Development, preliminary plat, owner Cedar Lake 133 LLC, P.O. Box 677, St. John, Indiana 46373. Petitioner Schilling Development, P.O. Box 677, St. John, Indiana 46373. Vicinity of 5604 West 141st Avenue, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Petitioners requesting a preliminary plat for Lakeside South Unit 1 for a total of 34 lots and 4 outlots.
Good evening, Kevin Hunt on behalf of Schilling Development, representing the owner, Cedar Lake 133. We are requesting a preliminary plat for Lakeside South. We will be asking for a deferral today. We had a very good staff level meeting, working out quite a few issues, so we do appreciate the town and the staff meeting with us to address those issues. We should have this finalized for the next public meeting 1 month out.
Okay, well, we're gonna see you at the work session.
We will be available for the work
Okay.
session, certainly.
All right, should I proceed with anything else, or just go to deferral?
You should go to the deferral.
Pardon?
Deferral.
Deferral.
So moved.
I'll second it.
A motion by Mr. Carnahan, seconded by Mr. Parker to defer to the work session next month. Roll call, please.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
I won't be voting.
Mr. Wilkeny?
Yes.
Mr. Capura?
Yes, motion carries 6-0.
Thank you.
You're welcome. New business number 1, Creek and Carlin, final plat. Owner Jeffrey Thomas and Julie Faith Carlin, 5030 West 100th Lane, Crown Point, Indiana, 46307. Petitioner Corey Creek, Unica Design, Build 2700 Valparaiso Street, Unit 1506, Valparaiso, Indiana, 46384. Vicinity of 6949-70 West 126th Avenue, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Petitioner is requesting the final plat for a one-lot subdivision for a single-family residential home. Name and address, please.
Corey Creek, Unique Design Build, 2700 Valparaiso Street, Unit 1506, Valparaiso, Indiana, 46384.
Okay, here's
So I guess
what you want.
we're kind of at the end of the road here.
Yeah, sure.
So, we've met and have kind of done all these steps as allocated by Cedar Lake, and we're looking for to sign some Mylars so we can let these, the folks, the Carlins, start to build their residence here.
Okay, Don, do you have anything on this?
We issued a letter on May 9th recommending approval. The only contingency we had in there was kind of reciting some of the recommended waivers from the initial preliminary plat approval. So, we're good.
What was your letter date?
May 9th.
Okay, building department.
We have not go further.
Okay, commissioners, do you have any discussion on this?
No, sir.
If no discussion, then I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion, we approve the final plat for the one-lot subdivision for a single-family residential home with the following waivers: park dedication, tree placement requirements, stormwater detention, and sidewalk, as shown in Christopher Burke's letter by Donald LaFont.
5924.
5924.
And I'll second that.
Motion by Mr. Wilkenine, seconded by Ms. Deschauer.
Nice work.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
Mr. Kapara?
Yes, motion carries 7-0.
Thank you for an enjoyable process. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Number 2, Kubo, final plat, owner Marianne Kubo, trust dated 13192, 13305 Moore Street, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Brian Kubo, petitioner Brian Kubo, 13305 Moore Street, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Vicinity of 135 Moore Street, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Hello, Brian.
Hello.
Feeling good?
Yeah.
Good, glad you're here.
Yep.
Just a quick summary, we heard it a dozen times, but
What's that? Oh,
just a quick summary.
7600 West 136th Court, Brian Kubel.
Yeah, and what you wanna do.
Well, I wanna get the final plat, so we can record it and get moving ahead. I have a property we're dividing in half. I have a potential buyer possibly for the building, so I have one less building empty in town, hopefully. And, everything's kinda moving in the direction we want, so we're just trying to get to, finalize this, get it recorded and move forward. So I appreciate the opportunity to do that.
Okay, Don, do you have anything?
We issued a May 9th letter for this one as well, with the engineering waivers that were recommended for preliminary plat, and we also had one contingency, just holding the Mylars, or at least not printing them yet until we figure out addressing for the site. It's quirky.
I believe that was done.
No? The way it's ordered, so it's under review with police right now and building department, they're still talking it over. So we recommend approval, but just don't print the Mylars until we figure out the appropriate address. The addressing in that street's kind of not in order, so.
So you think it's possibly that those addresses were wrong all this time, possibly?
They're not ordered right now,
Right.
as you go down. So, but the problem is we can't reorder them because they're kind of wrong, not only this block, but 2 blocks south. So, we're trying to figure out what's the appropriate address, so.
Where did we leave off with the easement? Because I thought last time that was the only discussion, was that we had asked for,
I went ahead and signed off on that.
Yeah, easements on there are dedicated right of way is what we wanted, so that's
On the
on
north
there.
side there.
Yeah, the
Both
north
sides.
and the west.
Both sides.
North
Yeah,
and the
north
west,
and-
so yeah, we're good from that perspective, we just wanna get our ducks in the row. Because right now, we have it as addressed as 13225 and 13245, but there's actually ones that are they're less than that south of there.
so approval based on your letter on May 9th with also the contingency to just hold the Mylars until the address is worked out?
Yeah, don't print them out, because the next block south of that, substation right there is 13205. So, we theoretically should be above that.
Yeah.
But it would bring it to 201 and 203, but if the NIPSCO substation ever wanted to address, they wouldn't have an address. So, it's quirky. So we're working it out with public safety, just trying to figure it out. It's just a number change on the plat, we just don't want to record them until we figure it out.
That's above my pay grade, as long as you're saying we're good otherwise.
Yeah, everything else is good.
Okay, building department have anything?
No, nothing.
Good. Commissioners, any discussion?
No, sir.
No.
I'll entertain a motion then.
I'd like to make a motion to, issue the final plat for one lot subdivision with one outlot, keeping in mind the CBB letter on May 9th, and also not printing the Mylars until the address is worked
Yeah,
out.
and I've let the surveyor know. I told him to hold off on printing, so you should be good.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Ms. Deschauer, second by Mr. Carnahan. Roll call, please.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Ms. Deschauer?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
Mr. Capora?
Yes, motion carried 7-0. Thanks for coming in, Brian.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 3, 14315 Rockland Street, Michael Smith, consideration of waiver from town standards for a new home to be constructed on an existing gravel road in the town's road inventory. Do we have a representative here?
I believe they're online.
I was the realtor that sold it to him, and he's online.
You zoom in?
He's in
Yeah.
Arizona.
I think you can hear us.
Yes, we're here.
There you go.
Good evening. Would you state your name and address, please?
Sure, Michael Smith, 1845 Gates Avenue, Kingman, Arizona.
Good evening, I'm his wife Elizabeth Smith, also 1845 Gate, Kingman, Arizona.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Would you briefly state what your request is?
Well,
Oops.
so I don't know if I haven't really got all the details, but I understand that I'm here for a variance. This is a complicated ordeal, needless to say, from what I think I would experience. My professional background, not that it matters in this arena, but I'm the director of a housing authority. I have been through things, zoning and planning and other instances. We purchased a property there in Cedar Lake, and we were really hoping to build our forever home and move that way. The education is better, as well as medical, than where we're currently in rural Arizona County. With that being said, we went through the process, did all of our due diligence, I did some little letter to the council. I believe you have that as well with the background information. I won't, if you choose, I can go point by point through that with you if you like. Otherwise, I'm here to, I believe, get a variance for the building of the house on this street. I don't necessarily know if that was required for your zoning requirement, but I'm here in front of you today to answer any questions.
Did you hear all that?
Well, I seen all the emails and the timeline, and I'm pretty much up to speed on what transpired from over the past several weeks. There was my understanding is there was a lot of confusion coming out of the, staff's office, of what they told Mr. Smith, about his property. There is a gravel road there. Well, when I was there, it was raining, so it looks like it's asphalt, it's gravel. I don't know, Tim, that's gravel road there?
Mr. Becker went there and took pictures of it, and there's asphalt there.
And I did also.
I was there tonight, and it's a dead-end street, both directions, north and south. It's nothing more right now than a long driveway for the house in the back.
And we get paid tax dollars from the state for that road.
I think we ought to abandon it, dedicate it to,
It's a dedicated road.
I think we ought to.
An unimproved dedicated right that is in our road inventory.
And I think the town is responsible for maintaining and upgrading that road.
I would agree with that.
There was asphalt there, just like 3 inches disappeared. You can still see the edges where it was. It's like you got ground and milled or something, and it disappeared.
And we need to get the street department committee back on to having a meeting and discuss the.
All right, we're not going there right now with the street department and everything else. We're trying to get through this. All right? It states it's a gravel road.
Getting cut off.
It states it's a gravel road. All right, so therefore, if it's a gravel road,
That's somebody else's opinion.
Bob, be quiet.
I think I got the right to speak too.
You do, but I told you to be quiet about that. We got your opinion already.
I didn't like
We'll be here
that.
all night if you keep jibber-jabbing over there.
I'll tell you what, I know how we cannot be here all night. I make a motion to give the Smiths, release the permit for them to build their damn house so we don't have to continue on with this stupidity.
And I'll second that.
All right, I've got a question. The east side of Rockland is vacant property, correct?
Correct.
Okay, we grant this. 2 years, somebody comes in, wants to build a house on the east side of Rockland.
Right, and again, with the circumstances, I mean, it was recommended that the waiver for the building on an improved public right-of-way be waived because of the information given that there was a house there, it was torn down, they were told that there could be a house built there by the town. But I guess the rule is still in effect that any home needs to be built on a public improved right-of-way. It's not paved, I mean, there might be some chip and seal down on that road, but it's never been paved. The point of the waiver is that it is allowing this to happen due to the information that was given to these people. Makes perfect sense, but I guess that distinction in, you know, they were given this information, that's what separates it from anybody just coming in, want to build another house on the other side of the street. I know that they have 100 feet of property. I was going to recommend that they be granted a waiver to build one house on this property due to the circumstances, because technically, I mean, it's 4 25-foot parcels, so it's a long, short story of it. But I wholeheartedly agree with Mr. Parker that, I mean, in this situation, I think that should be included in the motion just to separate it from future requests of this nature, like you asked, John.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
on the west side of Rockland Street, there's a creek. Is part of that property in that floodplain?
His house is on the east side of Rockland.
His is on the east.
There's no,
It's not in the
The creek's on the west side.
no.
Correct.
Correct.
His property is gonna be on the east side.
Correct.
Yeah, up on that little bit of a hill.
He's got a picture of the flood certs up right now.
Yeah,
It's
so
not
that's
in
his
the
property right there. That's the floodplain.
Can that road be vacated and made a right-of-way?
There's other houses down there, right?
There's another house down there.
On the end, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you did it.
The town's never gonna pave it, it's a long driveway.
Well, you might be.
One day,
You might be.
40 years, they haven't done it yet.
Well, you can't say never.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
And I've discussed that with Mr. Smith, that it could be a while.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. The motion should read to grant the approval of the request for a waiver to build one house on, Rockland Street, that is a gravelled road,
As requested.
pardon?
As requested.
As requested. Okay, as requested. That's the motion. You concur with that second, Bob?
Yes, I do.
And so do you, Greg, right?
Yes.
Yes, all right. If there's no further discussion, roll call, please.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Ms. Bettauer?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkie?
Yes.
Mr. Kapora?
No. Motion carries 6-1. Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 4, extension of Beacon Point West Unit 5 performance letter of credit.
On behalf of Schilling Development. I believe all the paperwork was submitted for the Beacon West, Unit 5 performance letter of credit. The bank noted it was
I
dropping
believe
off that letter.
Do we have an amount?
Yeah, it looks like it's $212,835.71, extended until November 19th, 2024.
Thank you.
Everybody get that?
Yes.
Do we have any discussion on it? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second it.
Our motion by Mr. Carnahan, seconded by Mr. Wilkie, to extend Beacon Point West Unit 5 performance letter of credit in the amount of $212,235.71 to September 19th, 2024.
November 19th.
November 19th, sorry. Roll call, please.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Ms. Bettauer?
I will not be voting again, thank you.
Mr. Wilkie?
Yes.
Mr. Kapora?
Yes, motion carries 6-0.
Thank you.
Number 5, extension of Perez performance letter of credit.
So, I believe the town has received this letter of credit. I think it's in your packet. Ashley's been handling this, so I'm not 100% sure.
It's in here.
Yeah, it looks like it's been extended in its amount of $4,430.25, extended to June 14th, 2025, so a year.
My understanding was the property switched ownership, but the letter of credit still being held by the Perez's.
Yes, that appears to be, the beneficiaries, the town, the applicant are the Perez's, Ricardo and Catherine.
Well, Perez is gonna hold that letter of credit until June of 2025, and then the new owner
Will do the improvements, is my understanding.
will take over the letter of credit or whatever he has to do.
Yes, that is
Okay.
my understanding.
Okay. If there's no discussion, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve the extension for the Perez performance letter of credit.
I'll second.
A motion by Mr. Wilkie, second by Mr. Becker, to extend the Perez letter of credit to June 14th, 2025, and that amount was $4,430.24?
25.
cents.
What was that number again?
$4,430.25.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Ms. Bettauer?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkie?
Yes.
Mr. Kapora?
Yes, motion carries 7-0. Number 6, extension of Hanover School Corp. performance letter of credit.
Again, ASSI was doing this, but what is in your packet is a letter of credit extension until May 24th, 2025, in the amount of $373,557.25. I believe that correlates to the existing one.
Would you repeat the figure again, Don, please?
$373,557.25.
Thank you.
Was this all based around us waiting on, or you waiting on as-built or something from the engineer?
That is correct.
Okay,
We have not received them yet.
but they're working on them,
That's my understanding.
with my quote.
Yes.
All right, I'll entertain a motion on this.
I'll make a motion, we approve the extension for the Hanover School Corporation Performance Letter of Credit.
Second?
Had a motion by Mr. Wilkie and a second by Mr. Carnahan to extend the Hanover School Corporation Performance Letter of Credit to May 24th, 2025, in the amount of $373,557.25. Roll call, please.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkie?
Yes.
Mr. Capora?
Yes, motion carries 7-0. Update items. Cedar Lake Storage, Phase 2 update. Already paved?
I've seen no paving as of yet. It was brought up at the BZA, I believe, but, there's nothing happening there. There's still campers parked on the gravel as of yesterday, so I haven't talked to them or anything, but we do need to have a conversation here shortly, because obviously their time is running out fast.
Yeah, they got to the middle of next month, I think.
June 15th.
Right.
Good question.
Yes.
It mentions in this little attachment here, this was gonna be done in 2 phases?
The paving?
Yeah,
I thought that the first phase is done.
okay, I'm just asking.
Yeah, I believe this is everything paved now, right?
Right, phase one, I believe
phase one's done.
Yeah, phase one's
is
paved.
Okay.
south of the buildings, and then phase 2 is the south of the building, so.
To the fence line.
Correct.
Yeah, this will finish off what they have to pay.
Okay.
Should be finished when they complete this.
Well, you're gonna check with them, Tim, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, obviously, I'm gonna touch base with them and see what their plan is, 'cause 30 days goes by pretty fast, so at least.
Sure.
They need to be ready to pull on that letter of credit.
Right, so they need to have they have until, I think they have till the 15th, right, to pave?
Of June,
So
yes.
their credit's till the 30th, so
Okay,
we'll touch base with them.
number 2, Cedar Lake, Storage, Performance Letter of Credit expires July 1st, 2024. Is that the one we're talking about for paving?
No, this is the public one, so this is the fronting, the remaining sidewalk to the east, and then some minor paving between existing pavement and the sidewalk. So this will be taken care of, at least the paving will be taken care of as part of the overall paving. The sidewalk that needs to be done too.
Okay, we got a little time on that, so not much, but we'll see what goes.
Yeah, we'll put them all together.
What's the amount on that, Don? Do you have that?
No, it's not much though, it's small. I think it's less than 10,000. Cause it's 50+ feet of sidewalk and then minor paving. Cause it was only related to their frontage.
Number 3, Beacon Point, Unit 3, Maintenance Letter of Credit expires July 12th, 2024.
We forwarded our punch list on to Schilling probably 3 weeks ago now. The only thing we're waiting on is storm inspections by Public Works, but they have inspections done for sanitary and water. So they have everything. They just gotta get through the punch list. It wasn't that big. So,
Okay, Beacon Point East, Unit 4, Performance Letter of Credit expires July 25th, 2024.
it's my understanding that one's going to extend. I don't think they'll be at their 80% threshold to pave that portion.
Okay, so they'll probably extend that?
Yeah, that'll most likely be a 6-month extension. I think they'll be getting close to 80% towards the end of the year. That's a guess at this point, but I believe that's the direction they're going.
Okay. Number 5, Beacon Point East, Unit 1, performance letter of credit expires July 30th, 2024.
It's my understanding they're working on that, and they'll have an update at the next meeting. I'm kind of hoping they would have stuck around, but they didn't. That's with the pond.
That's with the pond.
That's with the pond.
And what's the hold on that, the assurance? Three something? 300 some thousand?
Yeah, I mean, it was reduced to, it's probably 2 or 3, I don't remember off the top of my head. That sounds about right, though.
And the original plan to get that pond right is what we're still going with, or has there been a change?
I've heard there might be a change, but I haven't seen anything yet. So if they do make a change, they have to resubmit it, they understand that. But I haven't seen anything to date.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Rose Garden Estates, Unit 3, performance letter of credit expires August 22nd, 2024.
I have no clue. So, same updates. Yeah, we're holding all 3. And they're done now. They're completely done building. So.
Well, we've got a little time on it, but how much is that letter?
Hey, that's probably the smallest of the 3. It's the south section, south block, if you want to call it that. But it's still a couple million.
So, you ready to pull on?
Mr. Chairman, I got a question.
Yes.
Around these paved parking lots, what is the status of Bugaboos and the parking lot across from Tasty Top? They're both gravel parking lots, both in the main view, and they've both been gravel for a long time.
The Bugaboo one, that appeared before the previous town council, and Ralph Miller and I were the only 2 that voted against them not paving it, and they were granted the ability to have a gravel parking lot.
And the status is that they can have it the rest of the duration?
I could speak about Bugaboos, or Tim can, one of the 2. We met with Don Frey out there a couple weeks ago about him paving the back. So he wants to do it. We want to get some drainage in there first. So he wants to do it this year, because there's some gigantic potholes out there. It'll swallow a car, but, so he's actively looking at that. One Tasty Top, I have no updates on that.
So Bugaboos wants to pave?
Yeah.
He has for a while.
Yeah.
Tasty Top, I believe, agreed to pave that gravel parking lot, but there was no time limit set on it.
That's correct.
So I think the problem lies that we gave him you have to complete it by July or something. And so that's where it sits, and then he sold that place, didn't he?
He sold the business, but he still owns property across the street.
He still owns the property?
Yeah.
Dave Carey still owns the property?
I think so.
Well, that's why I understand it, is that he had no completion date on paving it, and so that's
So he
where.
would do it in the future.
Yes.
We also do not take any surety.
That's correct.
There's no surety.
That's correct.
Right.
The main reason I was concerned about it, we were talking, the zoning appeals denied a parking lot that's out of view from the public, not used by public, until it's paved, and we had 2 out there that weren't paved, and I was just wondering why.
Yeah, well, that's the reason. Any other questions? Okay, if none, then, public comment.
Angie Michaelajczyk, 12806 Lee Court. This is something different, Mr. Purpura. I have a yard drain. I have a set of photos I'd given to you, but with your permission, I'd like to give them to the rest of the board.
This is related to,
This is related to the sidewalk. I have a sidewalk that on my property that was built with the home. It's only half of a sidewalk that leads directly into a yard drain. And I had talked to a couple of different town employees about the possibility of removing the 2 slabs of concrete that fall directly, approximately 3 feet.
what do you want to do? You want to get rid of that concrete?
Yes, sir. But the
That's
town...
right. Okay, what do you want us to do for you?
give me permission to do it? Because
I can't give you permission to do it, because there's no plan, there's nothing before us working on that, so how can I give you permission? Tim?
I met Angie out there a couple weeks ago and actually gave her permission to remove these 2 pieces of concrete, in her situation, because it's conducive to the neighborhood. The other side of the side road, exactly across the street, has the sidewalk going to the driveway, stops on the other side, on the north side of the driveway due to the topography and the land. She has a similar situation. There is a drain that's approximately 12 feet maybe from her driveway. She has 10 feet of sidewalk, and like she said, the drain, they raised the drain up and it's still 2 feet below the sidewalk. She's got a tree there that kind of buckled up the sidewalk. The 2 slabs are just laying there. To remove them and just plant grass there would make it the same as the other side. There's no need to have a cliff, I mean, there's not a whole lot that can be done in the situation due to the topography, so to take the 2 pieces of sidewalk out, remove them, and plant grass there is a good plan. It's the same thing as what's on the other side of the street. I did explain to her that we could not remove them for her because that is her responsibility. We don't have a sidewalk. I mean, we have probably close to 100 people with complaints about sidewalks being buckled, need to be replaced, tripping hazards, so on and so forth, that we cannot address, so I can't remove her sidewalk for her and put the rest of the people at the back of the list. I mean, I explained that to Angie, I thought, well enough that she understood what I was saying, but I mean, we don't actually, she can have it removed or remove it, whatever she would like, and we're done with it, end of story, we're good.
I don't have any problem with the sidewalk being removed, but I don't think it's our position to tell her so.
I think it's the building department.
Well, but you did tell her that she could.
Correct, yes.
Yeah, so I mean, and you said last night that you were gonna repurpose the concrete, because,
Yes, this is the first, that I had heard about being able to do it from Mr. Kubiak, so I appreciate
Okay.
that. Yeah, that, he did mention, he said he couldn't give me the permission to do it because it was against town ordinance. He said that even if they did break it up, they wouldn't have anything to do with the concrete, and I said, well, I could repurpose it, so.
I said that the town could not remove it for you, and I said if we were there, raising your drain up and you wanted the guys to crack it up into a couple pieces with the backhoe, I wouldn't mind trying to help you out.
Yes, you
but
did say that, yes.
that was as far, I mean, I didn't have any.
Okay, well then we could end this discussion.
I could be removed.
Yeah, that's fine.
well, I listened
Yes,
last
thank you,
night,
sir.
and so,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Okay, very well.
Okay.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I have a question.
yes.
Tim, if anything happens north of her, is that drain and putting some kind of sidewalk back, is that workable?
Well, if we raise the drain up too much further,
Okay,
it's not gonna do anything.
Okay.
I guess
it's gonna be a sidewalk to nowhere either way.
It's gonna be something that if the people on Klein ever try to build on that property, I mean,
Okay.
the topography is crazy. I mean, I could imagine something being done, and again, if it does need to be connected, it's 10 feet of sidewalk, so, I mean, I don't feel that
Okay.
it would be advantageous. The chance of it happening, if we need 10 feet of sidewalk later down the line, it's not gonna be an issue. The
Right.
rest of those issues down the line would be fixed, the basin would be adjusted, and that would be a very small part of the rest of the fix.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, and then, according to the last plan commission, there were supposed to be some updates today, and I don't know if there were any regarding the other items.
We had staff change, and,
Yes.
I can answer that, Mr. Caparo. I can answer.
let me ask a question, has the foundation been removed?
No, sir.
Okay. Has the builder or the owner of that property been fined?
No, sir. No, we're just gathering data and information right now. And for example, and I'm talking with Angie regularly, my staff is too. I retrieved a copy of the recorded plat for this subdivision. I've been to the property and looked at the sidewalk and the drain and all the stuff you just talked about. And I wouldn't be so quick to suggest that we not
know at least what the lay of the land is and who owns what. And I would cite you to Rutherford versus City of Crown Point in 1994 about sidewalks and drains and all that. There's some potential liability dependent upon how the property has been maintained or the improvements have been maintained. So that information is being gathered. It's not complete. I've asked Jeff and his team to pull and locate and retrieve the town's file and the Lee Cove PUD. The responsibilities under that should be accompanying documents that are appended to it. So I'm going to analyze, as I was asked to do or directed to do, exactly what the lay of the land is here, who's responsible for what, and who did what. Just the layman attorney that I am, looking at this, it appears there are some issues that perhaps are a result of probably inadequate engineering and or consideration of improvements and possibly how we reviewed and approved this subdivision. So there's a lot at play in terms of me providing you a report and in turn your citizen.
Okay. My question is, if you remove a shed or any structure, you have to remove the foundation too?
No. Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, okay. But you do have to bring grade back to what it was so that you have water flow and what have you. Correct?
That's possible. That's exactly
That's possible.
what I'm seeing. I know Tim sees it when he's out there. It's not, the condition that is there today is not what it was when it was built. Things have changed, shifted, broken.
So we're talking about the foundation for the shed that was on the other property.
Yeah, was it shed, was it?
Shed, carport, Conex boxes, trailers, which there's still trailers there for a month.
Well, she has several problems over there, and I don't know which way to turn to help her out. I know last night, Storm Board was working on the rear property to get drainage in that for her. Does that foundation come into play with what the Storm Board wants to do?
I don't know. I don't know what the Stone Board is talking about.
I don't either, because it was just a meeting, and, you know, they just indicated they were working on it, right?
Yeah, I'm on the agenda for the storm board. We're kind of waiting to see what's going to happen. In the meantime, I did do some control on my property for the surface water, but, you know, the plan would be for the underground water coming to my foundation, and I guess we're waiting to see, I'm sorry, the president for the stormwater board? Ryan, he was gonna come walk the property to look at the situation also. I haven't received a call from him yet, but he just told me that last night, so that's the next thing I'm waiting for.
Well, I guess to answer your question, no, we don't have a report for you tonight.
Okay.
Well, we do. That was the report. We are working.
Okay.
We are working.
Thank you, Mr. Austin.
I don't think the questions I asked necessarily got answered, though. I asked, when the shed was permitted, was it 3 times the permit fee for the shed?
I don't have the town file yet, Greg.
For the guy to put the shed there, it was not, no.
Well, he put the shed there without a permit because it wasn't on his property, so shouldn't, if he had a fine the permit fee 3
Well,
times?
I honestly, to be quite honest with you, I did the permit originally, and I did the 3 times the permit fee due to the shed being built on the property without a permit until I looked at the permit and said, in my mind, the shed was put on not on his property, so he didn't have a violation on his property for a building put on the property without a permit. So if I had to back up my decision made on, did I find this 3 times the price for him putting a shed up on his property without a permit, he did not. The property owner in the rear was fined by Ashley for the building. It wasn't to the person that actually allegedly put the shed there. I mean, I know that the guy took responsibility, but he didn't actually put the shed on his property, so.
Okay.
With that being said, I was kind of like, I mean, normally when somebody builds something on their property clear without a permit, the rule says you get 3 times the price of the permit, you know, the fee to apply it. So in this situation, once I looked at the picture, I talked about it with Michelle and Tony in there, we're like, technically, the shed wasn't on his property. So he came in to get a permit to put a shed on his property, and I don't know, I mean, that's just the way I looked at it, and I felt that in this situation, the other property owner was fine for the structure being on the property. This guy obtained the shed from him and moved it to his property with the shed, with the permit, so.
Weren't we just said that there were no fines? Weren't we just told there were no fines?
There wasn't a 3 times the fee price for the shed permit, correct?
But the other property owner was fine.
I did a records request, I didn't see anything.
Yeah, I mean, I know Ashley sent them fines and letters. I don't know the answers to them, but I know that she was directed by you guys to send fines and letters and that sort of thing. I know that.
We probably need to follow up on that.
But there actually wasn't, you know what I mean? And I don't know, that was our viewpoint of it, so, I mean.
Staff has been requested to produce all that,
Okay.
and they're looking.
My other question was if the shed landed on the lot per setbacks and requirements for every other property owner did it need a BZA approval, in other words, to move the shed?
No, they had a plat there and they showed they have the setbacks and they had the easement. He got a new survey that showed everything on there compliant.
Okay, good.
Not any easements for drainage. He's in compliance in every way as far as.
They actually had the surveyor put the building on the plat, so.
So what is pending there? Are there any pending citations for land use? Anything else left?
For the neighbor?
For his
Not that I'm
stuff?
aware of, and I heard Mr. Parker say something about the foundation for the shed. I know that Tony or somebody did an inspection that the shed was placed, you know, for the new shed on the property, but I wasn't aware of this foundation issue, I guess.
Well, I heard Angie say something about trailers and Connex boxes. Is that stuff still there? The land use?
I don't know either.
Well, for about a month, if anyone went by Klein Avenue and just looked to the right, you could see 2 trailers of building materials right there. So as far as that's concerned, I did maybe 4 times talk to code enforcement. Every time they say that they're gonna come take a look, and there's nothing in their files for it. So I guess we're just gonna let them operate.
You contact the
Commercially.
code enforcement, they don't come out?
No.
I would talk to the town manager or
Yeah,
maybe.
well, code enforcement has been there in the past, but stuff comes and goes. So if the stuff's not there, one day I saw code enforcement out there like 3, or maybe about a month ago. Came like, I don't know, 8:30 in the morning, at 9 o'clock the trailers came in. It's almost like it was scheduled. It's weird.
Is this a trailer with a license plate, or
well, there is.
At night, or is it something that's abandoned there, or?
Well, currently there's 4 trailers there. One's an abandoned something in the corner, which you could see from Lee Court, you can't see from Klein. The other 2 are recent that were brought onto the property. They're bigger trailers. I don't know if they were brought in by a semi or they're bigger than what could be for a normal pickup truck, but they have like metal slats on them or something, and you could just see it from Klein. What it's made about.
I seen a trailer there one day when I was going around, or when I went down there, I did notice something there, and then the next time I came by, which was the day after or whatever, there wasn't anything there, so I don't know.
Okay, well, so.
I mean, I don't know if it's a license thing or something. I mean, if somebody's parking something there for the evening or for the, you know, I don't know where. I
Okay.
guess I was just asking
If
for
he's-
curiosity.
I think the issue is if he's consistently using that vacant lot for his construction business,
Right.
well, that turns it into a business use, not a residential use. I don't think anybody has an issue with somebody storing a personal trailer that is licensed
Right, and I haven't seen anything, I mean, I did notice the trailer, I noticed one or two things sitting there one day, and I kinda wanted to see what was up with that, and I went back and they were gone, so I don't know if it was just for tonight or 2 days, or day, or whatever.
I think he has used it consistently for his construction.
Well, obviously, prior to, there was, you know what I mean, there was definite evidence of it being used to store more than, you know, that box was there was a small trailer there. I know that something's gone now, but I mean, I didn't notice anything, other than for that day or two, I noticed that, you know, for the day, but I didn't see anything after that, I guess.
The burr in my saddle for all that is all the money that we spent to clean that up.
Right.
And it turned into this, you know.
It's still not right.
And it continues.
You want your pictures back?
No, you can keep them. I got all these, I'll just throw them away. Okay, since you mentioned that, and you talked about the rock foundation, as I said last time, there's also a slab of concrete up there on the hill. And the neighbor has a storage trailer. Yes, he has got it licensed recently. I mean, I can't look at make sure it's the right license, but it's just a storage trailer regardless. It doesn't drive, it never leaves. In 3 years I've lived there, it's never left. So there's that one up on the concrete slab where the Conic storage box was. And then there's 2 construction trailers out there.
Okay.
And then one last thing, because you had mentioned, my neighbor's downspout is in my backyard. Is that considered a stormwater violation? It's right into my water well.
It's extended to your backyard?
Yes.
Or just close to your backyard?
It comes off the roof of his house, off his gutter. It's a black thing. It's buried in the ground. It goes on his property about 12 feet on my property. My water well's right here, and it comes out in my yard by my water well about 2 to 3 feet into the ground.
We used to have an ordinance that said that was a violation. We still do, don't we?
It's probably
stormwater violations.
Yeah, it should discharge at least 10 feet from his property if there's that kind of, I mean, we do have some houses with 5-foot side yards now, so we've had several people that's brought to the attention that the downspout is, you know, on the neighbor's house that is 10 feet away, it can't be 10 feet from the property line.
And you're sure that's on your property?
Yes, sir, I am.
So pop-up drain, or?
No, it's the black corrugated pipe, whatever they put from the house drain. He knows it's there. We talked about it, my neighbor and I. He shook his head and said, oh, it's always been there. I thought it went in the easement in my backyard. But now they're saying there's no easement in the backyard. But I mean, according to the papers, there is an easement in the backyard. Even if he took it off his house and like laid it in the yard, it would still come back in my yard because it's on a hill. And as far as you're talking about easement in between the property, I think he has 9.5 feet, I have 9.5 feet, so right in the center there. And it shows that the water flow is supposed to come like that and go out to the street. But the neighbor put a third driveway pad in. So that third way drive blocks the flow of water.
Yep.
And Mr. Bungie, did you see that?
Well, I was up there,
We
and we went and did the site.
Could we pull it up on the GIS?
I don't remember, I don't think you brought up a problem with a downspout extension when we were out.
Well, it's in the paper. I gave
If you have water flow problems,
Can I
you were at
get a
the
new
storm,
one, Tom?
wait a minute, if you were at
Yes.
the storm board last night, if you had these water flow problems, why didn't you bring it up at the storm board last night?
Sir, I did, but it's a slab of concrete. It's a building thing.
So that still has nothing to do with us. You have to go to the building department or the storm. I keep telling you that every time you hear and you bring stuff to us that doesn't
Does anyone
relate
see
to us.
the third? Do you see the driveway in the front?
Yeah, but you're not listening to me. It doesn't relate to us.
Okay, so where would you like for me to go, Mr. Kapora?
Pardon me?
Where would you like for me to go to address this? Because the stormwater can't take out a pad of concrete. That's supposed.
Walk right over to that man, Mr. Bungie, and tell him what your problem is after the meeting, and he'll tell you where to go.
Okay, I appreciate that, but he was standing right there when I showed him that pad, and he told me
Don't
that
argue with me about it, 'cause I told you, asked me where to go, I told you, go see Mr. Bungie.
he was,
Now,
I told him, and he was there, he was standing right there.
What do you want me to do?
What do you want me to do? I
Don't
mean,
bother me with this problem anymore, because it's not our
Mr. Bundy,
problem.
what can we do for the piece of driveway that is in the drainage easement between the homes?
I don't understand.
Because I don't think the stormwater board could make them take it out, because the water flows in front of my house because
The
of it.
stormwater easement is in your rear property and down your north property line, it's an easement. The other's just side yards, and I guess I just have one question, I know you guys live on a hill, I mean, where does your water from your house go on the north side of your property?
In the front of my house, because there's a concrete slab in the way for it not to go into the street like all the rest of the people do. Because it goes to the slope.
He meant the north side.
The north
The
side?
north side is what
The
Jim
north
said,
side,
yeah.
there's an easement back there.
But it still sheens down the hill to the street, correct?
Yes, sir.
I mean, I understand your frustration to a point, but at the end of the day, I mean, the elevations of all of that property, your rear yard goes to the north, the property to the south of you goes to the north. The front yard goes from, your front yard goes from towards the street and towards your driveway due to the topography of the land. I mean, all of that water, I see the neighbor's driveway that you're bringing up, but I don't know how that is put in there, if it's running directly onto your property or if it's running back towards the road. But at the end of the day, if the pipe is in your rear yard, I'd like to see, where that gutter pipe is buried and if it's popping up in your yard.
I have a photo right here. I submitted it to the
That's definitely an
town.
issue, that's something that we could look at for you, but the other things that with the, if that's discharging directly into your yard, I could see that being an issue for sure.
Well, the additional concrete that she's talking about where they added to the driveway, that may have changed the topography and the way that front yard drains. It could have.
Very well did, thank you.
It could have provided a negative,
And if you could see the neighbor, would want to talk about the concrete slab on the hill as well.
So,
Mr. Chairman, if there's a violation, if they see the violation, why don't they do something? Why is she coming back here, why don't they see it? If there's a violation, correct it.
They're sitting there, ask them.
How come it's not corrected?
Well, for one, when I was out there with Eddie, we were looking at the back deck.
Well, I'd like you to look there and just inspect the whole thing. What has to be removed, what don't have to be removed, what's legal, what's illegal, and we can go from there.
Mr. Bungie, I understand what you're saying, but you were there, and in fact, I will remind you of the conversation because you had told me what type of landscaper I need as a professional landscaper that works in Tennessee because of different elevations on my property. Do you remember saying that to me, sir?
I did.
Okay, we were standing right there when I showed you that slab of concrete.
and you know what? That subdivision was poorly planned, poorly executed, and then unfinished because of financial failure. So, all these things add up to the finished product. And I sat and watched the storm board meeting last night, and all of the easements that we're acquiring in subdivisions that aren't very old compared to all the drainage problems we have in old subdivisions all over town, really frustrating. I understand how some of that happened because most of these were subdivisions left over from the crash that the developers went bankrupt and they just didn't get executed properly. This one's no different. I do agree with you that there is a potential, though, for topographies to change when additions are made. And flat work, I don't think a permit is required for that, is it?
We did not, probably we do require permits for driveway extensions today's day and age. Up until 12 months ago, we did not, but we found that some people were paving over B boxes and adding three-car garages that weren't compliant, so we do require, we didn't used to require a permit for a patio or a driveway. because it was a flat, you know, it was a paver brick patio, but now with the, you know, with how many people are doing rear yard living and all these other things, we've run into the situations where people are trying to make a rear yard patio in their entire rear yard, put their driveway from property line to property line, so we are reviewing, permitting, checking, making sure that, you know, that doesn't have a negative impact on other areas.
Well, also, if you don't know what you're doing, you're pouring concrete or laying brick, and you get a negative grade, it'll flood your foundation, your crawl space,
Exactly,
your
so, I
basement.
mean, we are,
Yeah.
it is a permittable, we do make everybody get permits for them now, they have to have licensed contractors. Again, like you said, back when this house was built, that was definitely not a requirement for that driveway addition.
Okay, we've hashed this out long enough. She does not belong in front of this commission. She asked me where to go, I told her to go see the town manager. Correct? Thank you. Are there any other public comments?
Yeah, I have one. I wanna point something out. Drove around the roundabout today, took a look at that situation that we have over there with the roundabout with the new building that's going in. And it appears to me, and I don't know what happened here at the time when that got approved, but if we're gonna have commercial traffic going in and out of that thing the way that it was designed with that hillside blocking the line of sight, I think that is if that looks like I think it's gonna look when it's done, there's a good chance somebody could get killed over there.
It's
a right in, right out.
Only Lake Shore Drive, off the roundabout, that was not approved.
No. It's just gonna be, you can't even turn in there unless you go down and turn around to turn in, so it's right in and.
It's a right in, right
Off
out.
of Lake Shore Drive,
Off of-
only.
Yeah, there's no, that second driveway is gonna be eliminated there as part of the development, the one that you're talking about.
Okay.
There'd be delineators on the median on Lake Shore Drive to prevent people from turning left in. So, yeah, that was vetted pretty hard.
Yeah, but up the hill to the east, that's.
So people are gonna
that's
go
not
down to the
approved.
chamber and turn around to get in there probably, but they can't turn in left from, there's only one way in and one way out, so.
That's the only roundabout, and I go around a lot of them, because I'm all over 2 counties. That's the only roundabout that I've ever seen somebody try to do something like that on, and every time I go by there, I just shake my head. Usually, when a roundabout goes in, with the exception of a little bit with that Culver's there in Valparaiso, which you can get in and out of that one fine, and there's no hill there. That may be the dumbest thing that I've ever seen for a development on a roundabout, a commercial development with a lot of traffic, in my view. And again, usually these roundabouts get some kind of decorative thing, there's nothing built around them, keep the traffic moving. I understand somebody was trying to salvage that property over there for whatever reason, for some useful reason, I suppose.
Right.
But it would have been better as a residential development than a
Right, it's
commercial
rough,
development.
I agree, I mean, and these guys made them, you know, like I said, they did that right in, right out only, so. it's
He
definitely,
wanted off he wanted off the roundabout, he wanted left in, right out, right in, right, you know, he wanted all of it. So there's a lot of restrictions on here. There was even discussion of having this come in and out of here by one of the planning commission members, and that's squashed also.
Well, again, it's just something I thought about today and I wanted to point out, and I like to use these things, including what she's talking about, sometimes for learning experiences, learning moments. So, it's not always a waste of time, just for moving forward in good planning.
Any other public comment?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, the commissioner asked if there were any stormwater violations and that the town was gonna go take a look. My question is, who do I contact regarding my neighbor's downspout coming into my water well? Who do I call,
You guys are gonna look into that, right?
We'll look into that.
Town manager. Now, please take a seat.
Okay, I gave him the photo last year of the same situation. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do we have the original plans for Lee Cove?
Yes.
Okay,
I have the
I
plat,
have them.
recorded plat,
okay.
I haven't seen the plans yet.
Bob Grosek, 14055 Deodore.
Schilling was nice enough to give us a drawing from Beacon Point 1 last year, what they were gonna do. The only thing I request that there's 5 homeowners involved, that we would like to see if they do have any plans, so we can take a look at it too and see what they're doing, if they changed anything, because I have the original here, what they gave to us.
Yeah, I think we
And that's
spoke
all I'm
yesterday.
asking for, is just to,
Yeah, if they make changes, we'll vet it through you guys again.
okay, because we.
I mean, if they're really minor, we probably won't, but,
Okay.
but if they're significant, yeah, we'll vet it through.
Is that in reference to the pond?
Correct.
Yes.
I think Rich Teal and I would like to talk to you about some of that stuff over there too, just to make sure that it is fully vetted from things that, because we were over there recently.
Okay.
And I don't know if this comes to you guys or not, but 141st Street, between Parish and 41, that road is getting real bad. I don't know, does that come to you, or is that something you have to recommend to somebody else?
Depends on where you're talking.
Between Parish and to 41.
Okay, well, we only
141st, that
own,
whole road,
okay, we only own up to about the railroad tracks, or just past.
from Parish to the railroad tracks.
Little path, yeah.
That portion is the worst. There's so many more people driving on that because they're staying off 133rd. I'm sure there's a lot of traffic on 133rd.
That doesn't belong here, where does that?
I don't know.
Where
That's
does
why I
that,
just-
no, I'm gonna get your answer for you,
Well, I
where does
think
that belong?
Bob kinda touched on that earlier, he would like to see the street committee start having active meetings again and pursue funding to get some of these streets
I think that's a
addressed.
great idea.
And I think that's part of it.
Well, I'd just like to bring that up because I'm sure you all drive on 141st.
My own neighborhood is a disaster, I
Pardon?
completely understand.
Yeah, and kudos to the street department, because there was a big hole there the other day, and I went out and saw it, by the time I came back, they had already patched it.
Oh, yeah, I hit that one the other day on 141st.
And that 141st is, like you said, it's deteriorating faster than.
It's bad. I don't know whether it's due to the construction traffic or not, I don't know, but.
It's a lot to do with that, and we,
Yeah.
that ground, I mean, when they did the extra widening
You
for
can see
Old
it from
Top
the
and
GIS.
Centennial, they dug down 5 feet of completely black farm field dirt through there. There's just, it's a bog of land, of dirt through there. I mean, we were 5 feet, I mean, it was over up to my chin of cutout and filled with stone to try to get that to pass a proof roll.
We only stopped because they had a duct bank.
I'm just throwing it out there for future. I mean, it's not gonna happen next week or next month, but just say keep an eye on 141st Street.
Oh, yeah.
It's bad. And I'm sure it's not easy for plowing snow either with all that stuff on there.
It's definitely not.
Okay, thank you, guys. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Any other public comment?
I have some stuff I'd like to talk about.
All right, after Cheryl.
Oh,
Okay, just
I'm
quickly,
sorry.
at the prior, planning commission meeting, I noticed that there were some trees that were taken down. I inquired and told me that that was because along Moore Street in the town grounds, because the water line from the lighthouse well is going to be going up there, and he indicated that it couldn't go on the outside of the fence because there's fiber optics that are buried under there. Who has the water plan? Who would I go to see where all that's gonna go in place? 'Cause
You can get it from
is there,
Jeff.
is there documentation of?
We have plans.
Yeah.
We have construction plans.
And when was that approved? When did
Well, I don't know about approved, but it's, I mean, there's different phases, there's different concepts. But as of right now, if we're going to loop a water system, that's our best bet.
Okay, so my next question, and I posed that to Don also, is all those trees are gone, and are there gonna be replacements of those trees? And Don
Yes.
indicated that would be
Yeah,
there will.
another
There are.
project. So what's the plan on that, and where would I find that?
Well, we're still looking to see where our better source of, trees will be. But yes, they will be, after the project, they will be replaced.
Okay, but was that something that was considered when the water placement plan was put into effect, I guess?
Wasn't here. Couldn't
Okay.
tell you.
I'm sure it wasn't.
Because that would be, to me, that's piecemeal action.
That's
It should have been a
exactly-
comprehensive plan.
That's exactly what
Here's
it
what
was.
we're gonna do, here's, phase one, we're gonna take the trees down, put the water line in, and then we're gonna replace the trees with whatever. So
at this point, we don't have anything.
That building doesn't have a legal description, I don't think. It doesn't have a legal lot of record.
So,
It
what
doesn't have,
doesn't?
that building doesn't have a legal description, a legal lot of record,
What
or
building?
the public safety building. The thing that the water line is getting run for.
Yeah.
It's,
Well, it was never, originally, if, the water line would have not gone in there if it wasn't for those buildings, is that what you're saying?
correct.
Okay, so that was my other question is, where were those buildings ever put on a comprehensive plan? Because I've looked at all the comprehensive plans, 2012 all the way up, I've never ever seen where those buildings were ever planned ahead.
The Brunt Farm. They were supposed to be on the Brunt Farm.
Okay, so they were never slated in, the town never had a comprehensive plan that indicated, here's where we're gonna place buildings. I didn't think so. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Bob? Are you gonna recognize her again?
Okay.
I had found the letter that I'd written to the town. It's dated November 27th, and in there, it says, my neighbor's drain is going 12 feet into our yard. And this letter was also given to the Board of Zoning Appeals, as well as you guys should have got a copy, because that was what I requested, and the town. And there's the photo of my neighbor's drain spout. I just wanted to tell you, I have been trying to circumvent this issue. I just wanted to tell you I did put it in writing and photo.
We know you've been trying very hard to correct the problems.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. All right, Bob.
All right, at the JMOB yesterday, I discovered some stuff and I got some questions. We have building inspectors that inspect our building. It was brought to my attention that we have different establishments here in town that have grease traps in their businesses. And do we have anybody in town that inspects these grease traps at the restaurants to make sure they're not going into the sewers and stuff, and that they get cleaned out?
We do kind of, not really. I mean, we kind of monitor manholes and we monitor what's happening downstream from restaurants. In the last 2 years, we've implemented and established a whole new protocol for all the new buildings, which have grease interceptors, grease traps, and then they have inspection manholes downstream from the grease trap, so that way we can very simply pop a manhole lid and see what is actually entering the sewer system from that grease trap without wondering if it's full. You look at a grease trap, any grease trap that's been used for a week, you take the lid off, it looks like it's full of grease, but you don't know because it's a 1,000-gallon tank, you know, so we have new standards, which all of the new places that have been built, the new Domino's, Taco Bell, everybody has a inspection manhole, and we're working on, you know, I mean, there's places that need some upgrades for grease trap sizes due to the capacity of what they're doing in the buildings now from the old days, but we do have, Lighthouse has to give us their cleaning, you know, they have to clean theirs once a month, and they have to show us the bill, because we had a lot of issues with that line not being done.
Do we have licensed, contracted people that clean those out in town? And should we have?
Well, everybody's in charge of their own, so it's something that was never really tackled. It's something that never was really addressed properly until in the last 6 months or year. Maybe more longer than that, I guess, because I know that all of the new stuff has got the new safety grease traps with the inspection manholes, we knew that we were getting some commercial growth, so we tried to get ahead of the curve.
Oh, my eyes was open to this last night, and it baffled me.
In the past, I mean, there's still places that just have a small 50-pound grease trap underneath of their sink. Obviously, once that grease trap is clogged, their sink doesn't work anymore, so those are being cleaned out, but
Dave, should we have licensed contractors that do this?
Well, you can if you want to. In the sewer use ordinance of the town, maintenance of grease traps is described, and as Tim indicated, is a private business owner responsibility. But if you want to add a layer or add the discretion to do so, you could, or the council could adopt an amendment to the sewer use ordinance.
Well, I had somebody indicate to me that, in another community, they had somebody that was cleaning out the grease traps and then going down the road and lifting a sewer lid and putting it in there, and because they were a licensed contractor, they pulled their license.
Bob, I have to ask, this just doesn't seem relevant at a plan commission level.
Well, we have inspectors that inspect for us, and, is that under the plan commission, or what's that under?
I just feel like at this point, we are fielding a lot of issues that aren't plan commission
I agree.
level things.
Bob, that particular item does belong with the utility board and there's utility.
All right, I'll bring that up on the 21st then.
Any other public comment?
Nobody online.
Last call, public comment? We're adjourned.